Antino's well cleared. 3 lengths in front of the Wayne Wilson and kept going. It's all Antino, and Antino wins again. Antino from second. What a wonderful
morning. Welcome to this episode of the Final Gallop, episode 331, and about 6 years later, so it's going gangbusters still. We're out here at the Sky Lounge rooftop out at the Pullman Hotel. Obviously, this show is brought to you every week by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group and Mr. Five Star, who's just rolling in behind us with a coffee. He can't but help you, this lad, can he?
No, they've been awesome. Good morning, everyone. But no, it's great. It's great to be back out here. I haven't been out here for a show for some time, so it is good to be back out here. You forget how nice it is up here in the it's the Skyline Lounge. Skyline Lounge. I think it's beautiful up here. You get a good view out over the airport and Moreton Bay, and then obviously back towards the city. But it's a lovely spot out here. You forget how nice it is when you don't come out here enough. So all you travellers out there that are flying up to watch your horses race in Brisbane, particularly as our carnival, which is fast approaching. We're still into the depth of the autumn in Sydney. Don't forget this place as you stay over location, because it's an awesome hotel.
Yeah, we've got a really exciting package this week, which we'll touch on later on. We'll shortly preview our runners for this week, but let's go back to last week. Massive day, 21 races. You know, great for, I guess, the horse racing enthusiasts. Probably not so much for your staff or whatever else, but beauty was Liquor went down to the Gold Coast and had a nice win.
Yeah, she did. She'd been set up for that race. You know, we had her back in, and Racing Queensland did a good thing for me. Really, couldn't find a lead-up race for her anywhere, so we ended up getting a race at Ipswich. She won that, and then made her way to the Military Rose, which was a terrific race. We've run that race a couple of times now, and I really hope long term that can get to be a black type race. I think the mares that run in it deserve it. And if you look at Chinny Boom running second, I think it was a good quality race. And Liquor now, I feel, is destined for some black type throughout our winter carnival. Yeah,
and just before we move on to this week, that Cutest race day is unbelievable. The prize money on offer, it's a credit to Queensland Racing, and it's really a big reason why we're going to go there this week and buy Cutest horses.
Absolutely, and it always ties in with our sale. It was just an unfortunate event with the cyclone. There wasn't a cyclone, there was a cyclone. Happened on that weekend. It sort of threw things into disarray. So Racing Queensland made a decision to have that Mecca day last week with the 2 meeting, and I get why they did it. I wasn't in favour of it, just for the simple fact is I thought we just spread our metropolitan resources far too thin on the day. And I think you'll look back on the day, if you look at the riding and the jockey situation between the 2 meetings, you do see that there were some strange run races throughout the meeting, but that's just because a lot of people are not used to riding in town or having horses there, etc. Yeah. So I think it thinned our talent pool out of touch. But overall, the meeting deserved to be run, and for the people that invest into Cutest and get behind the Cutest scheme up here, which is the backbone of our racing industry here in Queensland, it was fantastic to have that meeting and racing for that huge money. Like Liquor's win, for example, is $145,000 to the winner. That's just phenomenal money. So, fantastic to her owners, but also great incentive to go out and buy Cutest. So she was an expensive Cutest yearling, but she's well rewarding her ownership group.
Absolutely. Another thing, we're sort of stumbling a little bit here, but we got to mention this, Gullivers Travel. Very, I'll say pertinent, I suppose. We're out here at the Airport Hotel Group. Japan tour. So in early August, you are being a tour leader for a beautiful trip over to Japan for 10 days. Obviously taking in some studs, taking in the World Expo, which would be unbelievable. And just a once in a sort of lifetime opportunity to sort of get on board and get over there and have a look at horses and obviously the world.
Yeah, look, this trip I'm really excited about. Firstly, I will say I'm not there to teach anyone Japanese or take anyone on that side of the tour, because I don't know anything about it. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of help. Gullivers run a great show, but the trip in itself, not something I've never done before, taking a tour group, but it's something I'm really looking forward to, just for the fact of the trip. I've always wanted to go to Japan to look at the racing and breeding situation over there, because it's just phenomenal, and the way they work their horses and all the stuff. So it's a great trip for me for the passion I'm involved in, which is clearly horse racing, but to tie it in with the expo as well and just see some of the Japanese culture. It's a trip I've always wanted to do. Gullivers happened to just package it up, and when they come and ask me, it was a pretty quick answer in yes. So if anyone wants to get involved, Andrew's got all the details, and between him and the team at Gullivers, they can get everyone involved in the trip. So I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I could not think of a better way to spend the first sort of 10 days of August and be on that trip.
Yeah, there's more information out in the newsletter this week, and get in touch. We we're at a spot now where we need to get people involved in the tour, and so get involved, and hopefully we can get the time off and we can get there and we can get a good crew over there. All right, on to Eagle Farm this week. Rails in the 6.5 metre position, currently a soft 5. Small showers around. We had 21 mils last night. What are you thinking, track-wise?
Yeah, a bit more than was forecast overnight. So we know how good this track drains. It drains really well when you get that really heavy rain. But if we were to get some drizzly, miserable days, I don't know if we will. We're meant to get 30 degrees on Saturday. So, look, I'm going to work on good to soft. And with a 6.5 metre rail, we're getting out close to the position where we get a pretty true track, where you don't need to be racing off fence too much in the straight. So, I'm looking for fairly true and fair racing there at Eagle Farm on Saturday.
All right, on to race 1. The first race we're involved with, benchmark 70 handicap over 18.30. Speed here looks okay without being sizzling. Earl of Devon looks to be the leader, along with our runner, who is Free Carry. Carries 6.5 with Emily's Claim, barrier 8. Developing good record, starting this prep with 2 wins. Up in grade and trip here. He'll roll forward and sit on the speed. Yeah,
he will. The other day he was really good. I thought Emily rode him terrific in the midweeks. There was a lot of tempo in it, and she was off a wide draw, able to just get him in behind that speed. And he reacted well. He's just a different horse this preparation. You can see that in the way he's racing. He's been to 1800 before and failed, but that was that first racing prep. It was early on. He wasn't the horse he is now. So if I was ever going to try him out to this trip, now's the time. Emily rides him beautifully. We're lucky to have her 2 kilo cane, because she actually lost that yesterday. But because she's advertised out at 2, she gets to ride with the 2 on Saturday. So okay. We're very lucky to have her taking that 2 off. So she's riding in good form. The horse is in good form, very well placed, and I'm gonna bet that he gets the 1800.
Let's hope so. All right, on to race 4, open handicap over 1600. Small field, looks to be good speed with Russian Ronnie. This will be the one, and Devastate, who like to be on top of the speed. We'll start with Kronenbourg, 58 kilos with Emily's Claim again. 10th run of the prep, has won 3 Saturday Metro wins, so obviously he's earned his money and been a great money spinner for the owners. Rises 3.5 kilos on Saturday, has a great record at the track and looks to get a good run.
Yeah, he's up in the ratings now. He's a 94 rater, so you wouldn't know he's had that many races in the prep. He looks fantastic. He feels good. He looks great. I've spaced his runs out here and there, so I'm very happy with him. I think of all my 4 in the race, he's the one that's over the odds. He's racing in good form. He's a good, hardy, solid Saturday grade horse.
Rising Pacific, 56 kilos. Andrew Dunemann on board, who rode him at treat last time. Barrier 6. Up to open grade, down in weight. He's most likely going to have to come from the back of the field to win this race, but with the speed on, that's possible.
That won't bother him. Andrew rode him beautifully the other day. He'll be tracking the right horses. Now, those horses are going to be out leading in front. I'm not sure they're the ones who'll be fighting the finish out as far as the other 2 outside of our stable. So I think this horse follows the right horses. He possibly follows a Tenzing again. Otherwise he's sort of around about just behind Kronenbourg and Devastate. So I think he follows the right horses. He's always had the ability to be at this level, to be an open handicap horse or better. The key to him is good ground. He wants to see these showers go out off the coast and beat it and get away, because he wants a good track. If he gets a good 4, he's the right horse. I know he's gone up in ratings a little bit, and he meets Tenzing worse at the weights, but he's a quality horse.
Devastate, probably the other way, probably needs a bit of rain to show his best. 55.5 kilos. Angela's on board. As I said, any rain will help. On a good track, he's 0 from 7, but saying that, he meets Kronenbourg 2 kilos better, and he was good last time on a good track. Yeah,
I felt he probably should have won the other day. I thought Jimmy Ullman beat us to the punch on the winner, and probably should have got rolling and dictated that speed better. I think he's going super. The horse, space between runs, hasn't hurt him. He's in good order. You're right. If we get any of that 5 mil on the morning of the race, and that we're obviously early in the day this race, if with the tracks into the soft range, his chances I think go up. He maps to get a beautiful run. If those couple want to scoot along in the front, he's just going to lob third the fence, have something to follow, and I think he maps beautifully. He's definitely the map horse.
We'll touch on Tenzing as well. He could be a chance of not to run in this race, but let's touch on him anyway.
Well, he gets a beautiful barrier. He draws 3, CJ Graham on. He meets Rising Pacific, I think 2.5 kilos better at the weight. So that's what got him beat the other day, that and getting held up. He's flying this horse. I mean, he's never gone better than he's going this preparation. He's run 2 starts ago. Showed that. He drops down in weight. He gets a lovely run. The key is, Tilly Luke and the team in Aussie Bloodstock feel that if they go along at too quick a tempo, they just take that turn of foot away from him, and I see merit in that. So we may leave him for the 85 next week, but we'll have a look and see what the weather does. He's a horse that does love a bit of cut in the ground. He can handle it where Rising Pacific can't. So we'll just see what the weather does the next 2 days.
No splinters? What are you going?
No, I'm going to have splinters here because I think Kronenbourg's a horse that's over the odds. I've got no doubt. He's a good, hardy, open handicap horse. He is definitely the horse that's over the odds in this race. So probably if I was having a bet, I'd probably on him at the odds. But any one of my four could win this. I really do. It'll take something out of the ordinary for the other three in the race to beat mine.
All right, on to race 5. Class 6 played over 1,000 metres. Looks good enough speed here. Mr. Encore and Super Daisy will be the speed. The favourite, the short price favourite, is out and going to another race, which makes this a far easier race. 56.5 kilos. Ange is on board. Barrier 7. It's hit form, ready to win. Needs to get the speed still, so hopefully those two go hard enough that gives her a chance to really let down in the straight.
I think there's plenty of speed there. It's just a matter of where we find the spot. You know, I'd love her in this race if the rail was true. I still like her in the race. I've just had a bit of a space between runs with her. 1,000 suits her, Eagle Farm suits her. I think she doesn't map too bad here. She's drawn that tiny bit sticky. I still think there's plenty of pressure in the race, and the fact that I think the fields on Saturday will race fairly true, like they're not coming off fence in the straight, I think that'll generate the tempo that we see on paper. And if that's the case, I can see her just sitting just off that speed and being really strong late. She's in good form, this mare. Her last 2 runs at 1,000 have really got her back on track, and will continue to be on track Saturday.
All right, on to race 8. Colts, Geldings and Entice, benchmark 78 handicap. Speed here is crucial with ours drawn wide and going to have to come from the back, the whole 3 of them, to be honest. The favourite, which I just spoke about, which would have been in Blue Spinel, has gone to this race, which adds really good speed into the race, which is what we need. We'll start with Pissarro, 61 kilos, Jags on board, Barrier 10. Improved last time, closing off very nicely. Any rain will help this fella. Jag stays on board. Yeah,
he's in good order. He just needs a bit of tempo, doesn't he? You know, the Jag rode him well the other day. Sort of ride him dead quite early, make sure he gets into his rhythm, he can finish off. He's going to need a bit of luck because he's going to be back giving him a start, and there doesn't look to be much pressure. The speed's what worries me, but look, I've been there before when there doesn't look to be much speed on paper, then a few others decide to kick up and put pressure on, and the race changes. So I'm hoping that's what happens here.
Yeah, and obviously it'll depend on how the races are won early in the day. If they're winning on speed, then everyone wants to lead, and that creates
Correct.
pressure.
It's a different sort of Eagle Farm. This rail gets out to 6.5, 7 metres to how it races when it's a true. So that certainly changes tempo in races.
All right, Moral, 58.5 kilos. Again, valuable claim of Emily at 2 kilos. Barrier 11. After some unlucky runs, is on the improve, definitely on the improve. Wide gate makes it hard.
Really hard. I'm going to have to try a bit of caution in the wind here. I'm not going to go back from 11 with him. It's pointless. If I do that, I may as well leave him in the box. I think we've got a chance our arm bit and roll forward and see if we can find a spot on pace. Now, whether that's detrimental to him later, I'm not sure. But I think with a horse like him that's going well, he's very fit in his prep, I think I've got to be a bit more adaptable with him.
Last pair of runners hurt so good. 59.5 kilos. Ryan's on board. Barrier 12 again. Another one drawn wide. Back to his favourite. I think the key here is back to his favourite track. 2 from 2. He was disappointing last time. Can he find his Eagle Farm form?
Absolutely. He's just going to be really nice and quiet, this horse. There's not too much adaptability with him. When he races 40, he got away with racing just on the back of the speed in some average races. When he's into a better race like this, from a wide draw, we just go back, put him asleep in the second half of the field and ride our race. If he happens to begin well for Maloney, well then look, he can ride to how he feels. But better off and you can switch him off. Eagle Farm suits him. He just needs a bit of pressure up front. Him and Pissarro both need that same sort of run. I thought Pissarro's probably the way here. All Hurt So Good. I'd toss a coin with those two, depending on price.
Which one?
Oh, it doesn't matter. They're very similar, I think. You know, you said you hit the nail with Hurt So Good before. He's a horse that likes the big track. He's just got to relax. He hasn't done that well enough his last couple. Yep. He's in good order. Both horses are in really, really good shape. It's just a matter of how that pressure builds in that race. If it can, they're going to be finishing off with the big bounce.
Beautiful. On to the last that we're involved in, race 9, benchmark 85 handicap. Osman will roll forward and join Amore Veloci, Hollywood North, and Set to Shine on the speed. Start with Warby. He's racing great, this fella. He just runs so consistently. You go back through his form, and it's just a model of consistency. Obviously, his big flaw is his lack of gate speed.
Yeah, it is, particularly, you know, if they don't go quick. If they go quick enough, it's not going to matter. He's a horse that races mid to back anyway. But geez, he can finish off. You know, that's why he's been the bridesmaid and not the bride quite a few times, you know, running on for that good second. I thought he could just step well enough from a low draw there. If he can be 3 pairs back the fence, he's got no problem going through horses, no problem at all. and with I think a track that'll race quite true, he's a really good chance. It looks to map well for him, provided he can find that midfield spot.
Yep, Set to Shine, 55.5 kilos again. Emily's Claim's just invaluable. Barrier 1. Progressive mare and gets in nicely with the Claim. 3 from 5 at the distance. Good record at the track. Big chance with weight, draw, and distance profile, all positives.
And jockey, how good she's riding. So, you just love to own a horse like this. It just never runs a bad race. She's like a little ATM machine. Every time you send her around, she just spits you out a check. So, I think she's going brilliant. She'll bounce. She'll put herself into a forward spot. She's a perfect horse to own, perfect horse to bet on, because she just always, finds that right spot in running. Yeah. So, if whatever's in front of her will probably going too quick, or she box seats the fence, which is not a bad spot to be.
Yep.
And she gets a good run. So, Warby's one of my old favourites. So I can't tip really against him. So I really, really like the horse. But I am going to go Set to Shine. I just think she just gives you a really good run for your money every single time. So if she's not winning, if you look at it, she's around $2 the place or $1.80 or so the place. I mean, she's just a bet to nothing because she's such a little trier and just puts herself into a good spot. She's starting to get up in the weights a little bit, but Emily's Claim just really helps her.
Yeah. All right, we're in the final furlong of the Final Gallop. Best winning chance at Eagle Farm.
Well, I think I'll win the mile race.
Of course you do. Of course you do. You're a very brave man. Very brave.
So I'll leave that one alone. I should have the box trifecta, my 4 or 3, depending on what we run, in that. But if not, I think I really like Free Carry. I love horses in good form. He's getting in well enough. Emily rides him well. The track will play well. He loves good or tracks with a bit of juice in it. So I think he's a really nice bet. And he's found the right race for him early in the program.
Best each way chance.
Each way's tricky. There's a few good each way chances, and I could go for a bit of value. I think I just certainly see Pizarro running top 3 because I love the way they've dropped back in grade. That was a much better race I ran a couple of weeks ago. Yep. But I'm not going to go him. I'm going to go Set to Shine. I'm going to Set to Shine. I think she's the each way player of the day. I think she's hiding the nothing each way.
Did you work out how to get out of bed this morning?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're very indecisive.
Well,
today.
I got out a fair few hours earlier than you, so I didn't no problem getting out.
I'm glad you did, because that's what they're paying you the big money for.
Yeah, exactly right. Massive.
Best of the provincials.
Sitting on the fence again here. I'm a bit worried. Oh, God. I think if I could rely on chillaxing, he would be my best, but he's pretty tricky to rely on. He's going good. But no, I'm going to go Spartus. He ran in that really good maiden the other day. I thought of Dunemann. Back to 800, he's fresh as anything. I just hope Ipswich hasn't got too much of this rain last night, because he's a capitalist. He would probably like it better rather than wetter. So I'll go with him. Nothing wrong with Godzilla's form either, actually going there as well. Yep. Not a big provincial team, but a really, really strong team.
Just the question, which one of your personalities have you woken up with this morning? Indecisive, Tony?
Oh, I'm not indecisive. I think I'll probably back them all, the provincials, so it's not going to worry me.
Best in work this week?
Best in work this week. Those two that worked together quite a bit, and they worked lovely again, was Rising Pacific and Tenzing. They looked beautiful out there in their work. Devastate, I thought, was brilliant. Tuesday morning, he's really sharp and fresh in his legs with that bit of he had the quick 7-day backup, then rolled into this. So either one of those two. And another one I'll mention off too, Antino, him and Transatlantic. Yeah. They're working very well. Worked on the course proper Saturday, just easy work, and then had a bit more of a stretch out on Tuesday on the A grass. Both those horses jump out at Dunemann next week.
Okay, can I just say then, I'll just ask you for the best of work in the week, and you've tipped 3 in the same race.
I just said what's worked well. I didn't tip them, I just was what's worked well.
So what do they do? Out of them 3, what do we do?
What do you mean?
Well, you Devastate, Rising Pacific and Tenzing.
Actually, Kronenbourg went pretty good too, to be honest. So, I'll just leave them at that. But we're not out there to race each other on Tuesdays. They'll race each other on Saturday. Oh, they're well prepared.
Can we get some common sense back into this program? Over to you, Cav.
Welcome to Cav's Corner. Eagle Farm this week. We'll go Blue Spinella win into Warby a win. Good punning.
All right, the Cavinator. Blue Spinell into Warby the win.
Makes me even more excited about Set to Shine. Or old Warby.
Oh, Warby. Back. Oh, God.
Gee whiz.
Warby.
Ryan Maloney and Cav. Jeez, that's a duo.
On that note, we're out.